Hi, Gary here. Sudden receipt of money, death of a parent. Now, that's horrible for anybody. The social, mental, emotional, physical things that take place with having, mom or dad pass away. And now, what do you have? You got their home, or maybe two homes, and you've got their personal property, and you have all these different assets, which are hard to understand. And maybe mom and dad didn't quite share this with you, which is not unusual. And you have siblings involved and your family. It's just a lot of transitioning going here, a lot of life-changing stuff that can happen. And I want to start with an example. Maybe 15 years ago, we had this gentleman come to us who was referred to us, and he was in receipt of about $1.5 million. And the first thing he said to us was, "Hey, I'm taking half of this, $750,000, and I'm buying a bowling alley." I said, "Oh, okay. Tell me about that." He said, "Well, I'm a bowler, love bowling, go with friends all the time in a league and so forth, and I really understand bowlers, and I want to do this bowling alley." Now, you might be saying to yourself, does he know anything about business? No. Does he understand that bowling alleys are primarily make their money from the liquor side of the business? No, don't think he understood that either. How did he really believe that, never having run a business, that he would be able to run this bowling alley business? Well, lots of things. Well, the first thing he did was, he didn't really sit down. He just jumped in with 2 feet, just went nuts and did that. And I think that's what happens sometimes, is some people, when they get sudden money, immediately jump in and go off and spend it quickly without really thinking it through clearly. Others just freeze. We've seen people for years do nothing. We had a woman who didn't sell her mother's home for almost 10 years because she just wasn't sure what to do. It seemed simple, but she couldn't do it. And others worry about it, and they really overthink it and don't spend the time. So that kind of begs the question, well, where do you start with something like this? Well, you start in the future. You start with the end in mind. What do I mean by that? Well, you go out there and say, what's this look like 2 years from now? Integrating this money into our lives, what does that look like? And very shortly into discussing that with your spouse or your family, what you'd find is it really has some hard and fast stuff in what? 3 things. And what your balance sheet looks like, what your cash flow looks like, and what your taxes look like. Now, sometimes it's easy just to do the science, just to get through and just project that and go, whoa, where does that put us out there in 2 years? And then it kind of limits the kinds of decisions, and it gets you really in the very part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, where you're making good, logical decision making, and out of all the emotional angst that comes out of the death of a parent and all that stuff coming into place. It makes you very intentional about where you're going and what you're doing. And now all of a sudden, all these other things open up that may or may not have been important to you, but now are, because there are additional assets to do things that you really thought you would do, but the day would never come. And now it's been handed to you as a gift from your parents, and this sudden money has been received. And it really gets you through some of those emotional and other issues that people really have a tough time with. And it becomes a very intentional process to go through and do the things that ultimately will come out well for you and your family, where things will be better than they were when they started. So there's not any abuses of the money. It's not spent wildly. It's not done in crazy things like buying bowling alleys without thinking about how to run a business. Those things don't happen. And so it really comes down to really being very intentional, looking forward, being realistic, running the numbers, looking at what it looks like, and making some good, solid decisions about it. We watch a lot of folks go through it, and that seems to be a much better approach than just kind of haphazardly going through that whole process. So, if you're in this situation, please give us a call, respond to us, email us. Love to talk to you about it, help you out if we can, or send you in the right direction if we can't help you. So until next time, enjoy.